My name is Gilles Teerlinck. I did an LLM at University of California, Berkeley in 2008 and 2009. Ended May 2009, yes. And then I did the New York bar exam, which I studied for 2 months until July 2009. Afterwards, I did an internship in the New York office of the law firm which I'm currently working for, which is Linklater's English law firm. I worked there for a couple of months until October or November, and afterwards I returned to Belgium, Brussels exactly, where I'm currently working as a lawyer, banking lawyer. The reasons why I went to Berkeley were the focus on the courses on private equity, hedge funds, venture capital, and a business school and law school, which is one of the topics for academically and career-wise, in which I'm really interested to. So you have the course load, the course which I was really interested to, and then there's also, it's a very small group in Berkeley, which for me is very important. It was only 80 or 90 students, because in the end you're paying a very significant sum of money. So for me, when I got the offer of admission from Berkeley, was very easy. The day after, I just confirmed. I confirmed almost immediately, because I did apply for a rather large number of universities, both East Coast and West Coast. East Coast, NYU, Columbia, Harvard, that's about it. Then West Coast also, besides Berkeley, UCLA. And then also Chicago, Michigan. I'm probably missing one. I think I applied for 8 universities. I did apply for a lot of universities, because it is a tough admission process. I think only 10% of people get admitted. If you're from Belgium and you have good grades, I think your admission chances are a lot higher. So once you have your personal statement, did everything for your resume, the extra time it takes to apply for other universities it's rather small. I applied for the classical ones, Fulbright, which is the most prestigious. Certainly in the US. In Belgium, people would look at the Belgian American Education Foundation, their fellowships and Fulbright as being on the same level. But in the US, Fulbright scholarships are definitely very well regarded. I must say, friends of mine were surprised I had Fulbright. When I said, yeah, I'm a student, I'm studying here on a Fulbright grant. I was always saying, you're studying in Fulbright scholarship? I mean, how come? What did you do? So in the US, people really appreciate it and are wondered by, are surprised by students having Fulbright scholarships, which in Belgium is to a lesser extent the case. And the third scholarship is the Fondation Fernand-Nazaire, which normally only gives interest-free loans, but from time to time, very discretionary to give scholarships. And I had the luck of having small scholarship and also interest-free loans. So as you know, scholarships are very important, because even with the maximum amount of scholarships you have, it is a costly enterprise. In my opinion, it's better to apply to a rather large number of universities. Also, if you're not really sure about the course load you want to take, the location you want to study, because in the process of applying for certain universities, you get to know more about the universities when talking to alumni, when browsing the websites, when reading through magazines. One of the most important tips for me is to start on time. It takes a lot of time to prepare yourself, to prepare all the application materials for the scholarships, for the visa, and the last thing you want is to stress out on all your applications. For me, my decision was already made to study in the US and to do an LLM program, I think 2 years ahead. I liked studying abroad. I did an Erasmus in Paris, which I really enjoyed. And I knew my grades were not so bad, so I might have a shot at ending up in a really great university in California, or in the US in general. And in August of 2007, must have been, yeah, August 2007, I started preparing everything. And from September, October that year, you could start sending in your application processes and all your other application materials. October was the deadline for the scholarships, and then depending from university to university, it's like January, February, March, April. So I was really ahead of time, always relaxed. I mean, I did my application materials well, And I never missed a deadline, because I heard from friends of mine that they were too late for scholarships, too late for certain universities, and it's if you're just lazy or didn't pay attention and you miss out on a scholarship of $40,000 to $50,000, yeah, well, it's painful, especially if your friends who applied 1 month early have the scholarship and you not. I mean, which makes some people postpone the LLM 1 or 2 years, and in the end, just maybe even they cancel it. So be on time. It's the most important thing I can say, and be very thorough. In the end, I ended up studying at the University of California, Berkeley, which was the top university, but I never assumed I would make it, because normally they're quite focused on people going into academics or just into international organizations or the government, and I was always keen on working for law firms or banks, so not really the non-profit organizations. But the one thing they really look for in Berkeley is that you need something specific. You need good grades. That's prerequisite for each US university. For them, just normally have amazing grades, and that your essay and your resume is perfect. But in Berkeley, you need something specific. You need to have done something strange or be involved in so many social organizations, I don't know, or lived in Mozambique for 3 years. They're really looking for extraordinary people, not in the meaning of being very intellectual, but just they're, I used to say in Dutch, moet een hoek af zijn, or gaga, yeah, need something specific. So, which was also obvious from the students whom I was studying with. They're all fun people, very smart, which is fun, because it's an amazing experience to be immersed among a group of so many fun people who are actually on the top of the game. They're all very smart lawyers or judges. It's something which struck me once you're back in your hometown and just in your regular social environment, and not among all hyper brightest minds of the world, to say it a bit exaggerated. The internship which I did for the law firm which I'm currently working for, Linklaters, in New York City, it lasted for 2 months. Was an amazing time, both personal leisure time and work-wise. In order to obtain this internship, I had a lot of negotiations with my law firm for, I think, 2 months, because I really want to work in the US. And it was the best time to do it immediately after my studies in the US. I would also put into practice a lot of the materials I learned in California and materials I learned from the New York bar. In the end, I managed to obtain this internship. The hardest part was obtaining it from my law firm. But once I had it, the paperwork for the visa and the Fulbright was very light. Didn't take so much work. Just had to fill in some papers, some very brief personal motivation of I think half a page or a full page, have it signed off by your academic advisor at university, and then send it back. So that was really easy. So if you know you have a good shot at getting the position, just ask and negotiate hard, because it might be one of your last chances or your only chance to work in New York City. Talking about the LLM experience, it sounds like a cliche. I'm definitely not the first one to say it. It was a great experience. It's very burdensome, very tough to go through all the application materials. It takes a lot of time. It's expensive. You're wondering, why am I doing this? But once you're there, once you go through all the administrative burdens in Berkeley, such as visa, social security, enrollment, everything which you have to take care of, for a couple of weeks you'll notice that you did the right thing and you're really going to have the best year of your life, which you'll certainly have if you balance the courses, the course loads, which depending from university to university and from course to course are from very light to very heavy, and the social life, sports, and of course California weather, which is not one of the reasons I went there. Ik kan me enkel maar aanbevelen om zeker te appliceren voor Amerikaanse uniefs. Ook voor Fulbright maakt je leven zoveel gemakkelijker. Voor administratie, voor visa moet je niets van aantrekken. Geldgewijs, je hebt een beurs die afhankelijk van je beurs zoveel dekt. En als je dan binnenraakt in de topunief van de Verenigde Staten, zal zeker een ongelooflijke tijd hebben. Zeker als je geluk had, zoals ik. In Berkeley te zitten waar je naar de les ging in flipflops, shorts, zonnebril. hemdje en laptop. En buiten studeren nog veel tijd had om van alles te genieten in San Francisco, de Bay Area, Californië en overal in de Verenigde Staten. Dus neem je tijd, ga er compleet voor. Het is hard, het is veel eisend. Je zal vele vragen stellen waarom je in godsnaam aan begonnen bent in al die applicatieprocedures. Maar eenmaal je de admission letters begint te krijgen in februari, maart, dan heb je zo'n gevoel van opluchting. En dan zeg je van ja, misschien is die marteling van procedures wel waard geweest. En eenmaal je er bent, de zonnebril opzet, dan weet je zeker dat je een goede keuze gemaakt hebt. Succes!